Hello and welcome back to the Toffee YouTube channel, your source for all things Everton. My name is Thomas and we're back today with another Football Manager 2020 video. As you can see on the top of your screens, we've put Pep Guardiola in charge of Everton. He's been here for 6 months or so far. As you can see, 1st of January 2020 we've skipped to. Straight away we can see in the dynamics, disappointed with how things are going, but feels that his side's recent form offers some glimmer of hope. So we're going to take a look now where Everton are for the first half of the season, what transfers they may have made, and other things like that. So we're going to jump into it now. Straight away we can see they're 6th in the Premier League. Just wait for that to load. Yeah, into the Europa League positions. 1 point behind Arsenal, but Arsenal do have a game in hand, as well as Liverpool. West Ham just below, or 2 points behind. So can we look at the general form? Obviously, Manchester City's former team, Pep Guardiola's former team, Manchester City, they're top of the table on 48 points. They have hired Allegri as their manager to replace him so far. So we'll take a quick look at the transfer history. Only a couple of signings made. Koke Vegas is a goalkeeper who's been brought in for 575,000, and Thomas Uwajan, I'd like to pronounce his name, who plays as left back, but he can also play along the left and in the middle. He was brought in for Everton under 23s, but he's immediately been loaned back out again. Obviously, the usual Umar Nias has gone to Dynamo Kiev. The tactics currently being used by Pep Guardiola is the 4-1-4-1 diamond wide, with Pickford in goal, Sidibe and Digne as the fullbacks, Mina and Holgate centre-backs, Davies sitting, Sigurdsson and Gomez a bit further forward, with Charleston off the right, Iwobi off the left, and Calvert-Lewin up front. As you can see, a lot of the players are loaned out here. Gabamin injured, as he is in real life as well, and Koke Vegas has been brought in straight away as the backup to Jordan Pickford. Calvert-Lewin so far on 11 goals, which is brilliant form for this season, and we can take a quick look at the games where he may have scored those goals. Out in the Carabao Cup second round to Leicester, back-to-back games against them in a few days, getting a draw in the Premier League, but then straight out 4-0, very disappointing result, and then a loss against Chelsea, so quite a poor start to the season before September with 2 wins and then a loss against Manchester City, Pep Guardiola's former team. Back-to-back wins against Newcastle and Southampton before a draw away to Liverpool, with Calvert-Lewin scoring in the first minute. Then wins against Sheffield United and Norwich, with losses against West Ham and Aston Villa. And then in December, a win against Arsenal, a win against Manchester United, and a win against Watford, as well as another 1-1 draw with Liverpool, a 1-1 draw with Palace, and a 1-0 loss to Wolves. So we're going to skip ahead now to the end of the season, see where Everton finish, see if they make another cup final as they did in the Ronald Koeman video, and we'll be back in just a minute. Hello and welcome back. As you can see, we've skipped to the end of the season, but sensationally, on the Wednesday, the 26th of February, Carlo Ancelotti was brought back to the club to replace Guardiola, who was sacked after only 6 months in charge. We can see now Pep Guardiola remains unemployed. At the time, Everton were 8th with 41 points from 27 matches, and they'd only won 1 in their last 5. So Guardiola was sacked for poor results, which I think is quite a remarkable set of circumstances, but we can see how the team got on for the rest of the season, how Ancelotti did from January onwards, who Guardiola actually signed in January, just to see how things are. We can see transfer history. One signing was brought in, Lucas Alario from Bayer Leverkusen, who's a striker. In terms of outgoings, no one else significant decided to leave. The schedule, we can see just before Pep Guardiola left, a draw against Newcastle on New Year's Day before back-to-back losses, 1 in the FA Cup third round against Huddersfield, 1 against Manchester City, 1 against Southampton, and then eventually a win against Watford. But then after that, a draw against Tottenham, a loss against Zenit St. Petersburg, which was a friendly, and then a loss against Bournemouth, and then a draw against Manchester United, and Pep Guardiola was gone. For the rest of the season, there was a bit of an upturn in form, with a win against Wolves, 4 draws against Palace and Arsenal, a loss against Villa, but then 3 wins in a row against Norwich, Sheffield United, West Ham, a loss against Chelsea, and then the last 3 games of the season won. As you can see, finished 7th in the Premier League. No cup run this video, both put out of both the cups in the first round. Also, no European football after this season, with Manchester United and Tottenham claiming the final Europa League spaces. 6 points behind Europa League, so not the worst, but obviously quite remarkable that Manchester City, former Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola, was actually sacked from Everton only 6 or 7 months into the job. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let us know who else you want to do videos on. Thank you very, very much for all of your support on these videos, and We'll be back with another Football Manager video soon. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.